You don't see a lot of it in the art world these days.
Yeah, that's right. Greenberg used to do that. Have you ever felt like you'd like to knock somebody down?
It wouldn't do me any good. I'm no good at it.
You used to defuse bombs in World War II. Did you know that, Esther? During World War II, he used to defuse bombs?
My grandfather, who, he was a little man, he lived in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, and he ran a general store in a place called Seney, which the lumberjacks used to come to, and they would come there for women and for drink. And my grandfather would fight these guys, lay them out. I mean, he was a legendary fighter, but I don't have any of that. I don't have any of that. I don't have the reflexes.
That chutzpah, you don't have
I don't
that.
have the impulse.
You always was a gentleman, but you were the type that were very more interested in. I mean, to defuse a bomb, you had to be very patient and be very.
Well, not so patient at that time. I mean, when this was mines.
Mines.
Mines, yeah. When I knew a fair amount about
land mines.
Disarming mines, but it was fairly simple at the beginning of the war when I was an engineer. So it was almost like, you know, there's a thing that presses down and you step on it and then it detonates, right? But if you can just keep that from moving, you can start. You've got it comes usually with something that you can slip, like a bicycle, you know, like a bicycle thing underneath that thing. And at that time, the mines were not more complicated than that, but today I wouldn't know how to do it.
Wow, that's interesting.
And I learned a lot about blowing things up. I mean, I had an engineer's training. I'm an Army engineer. It wasn't, you know, like the School of Engineering. Right?
What was your title? What was your rank?
I never got higher than corporal.
Corporal. Did you get medals?
Just jerky medals. Just good conduct.
You should write about. Probably you've already written about this.
Well, no, there's nothing to write up. I mean, it would be ridiculous. I got campaign medals. I have North African campaign, the Italian campaign, but you know, those were campaign things. Everybody got them. They just issued them. My colleague James Walsh, who's now dead, but he was in the Italian campaign, and he did get wounded. He got a Purple Heart.
Wow.
But that never happened to me.
Wow.
Now, I don't know. I mean, everything's evolved to the beginning of World War II. Everything was pretty primitive by comparison to what it got to be later on.
What is your feelings about the war today? Are you for it?
No, I'm not for war.
Do you think there is such a thing as a just war?
Yeah, I do. I think that when you can't, strictly speaking, I think it would have been a just war to try and get rid of Saddam Hussein.
In the Catholic sense, you know, like the Catholics have.
Yeah, I do believe that there could be, but then we were lied to completely about that. So, I mean, there has to be, ultimately people have got to find out, the United Nations has got to find out a way of handling tyrants. There has to be some way of doing that. But to allow sovereignty to govern, the inviolability of sovereignty to govern what the family of nations can and can't do in the internal affairs of a given nation, that seems to me gross violation of human rights. So there should be some way of handling that. But nobody's evolved it, and I think it has to be done by, first of all, by not by telling the truth. I think we were completely misled. But I didn't feel that there was enough of evidence except violations of human rights in that case. That is to say, the weapons of mass destruction and the rest of it. And then there wasn't any legal apparatus. I mean, we went in
Well, I remember. I remember when I came over. You asked me to come over. I think Barbara asked me to come over to help you move something, doing something. You move your. Yeah, you were living, and you were buying it. You were buying his argument. You said, "My goodness, listen to what he has to say. Isn't it terrible? Look, that guy needs to be taking weapons of mass destruction." You were not skeptical at all about what Colin Powell was having.
But then
you were already. I remember you were very critical, if not anti-UN. You were telling me the UN is not enough. We had to intervene and go in it to it.
I never would have said that. I never said that.
You were very, very critical of the UN.
It sounds like I was interested in that. I never would have said. What I said was that they have to put pressure on to let the inspectors in. That this was all evidence that they...
Well, I remember you said something of the nature of embargo or restrictions of what the UN wanted to do was not enough. You had military action, to speak.
Well, if there had been internationals... If we'd gone in, if the United Nations had gone in on sufficient grounds, I think at that point, I think I probably would have considered it, because the grounds would have really required that there be weapons of mass destruction, together with the human rights violations. But that I was certainly not interested in unilateral intervention or preemptive war.
Well, we had the what is it called? Allies of the Willing. Well, this is Memorial Day. Here we are talking about our country, and we're very. I guess we're all proud. Are you proud, dear? I guess. Are you proud?
No, I'm not. According to the Times a couple of weeks ago, sales of flags have fallen off. So.
Oh dear. Well, we are in a disarray here. I guess that someday we'll figure out what this war was all about, and
I think we've got it figured out.
What will happen when we?
I think.
I mean, we're between a rock and a hard place, and once we decide to get out of it, we'll find out how it all will end. But how do you think it's going to end?
I think it's going to end with withdrawal.
And then what?
Well, then there'll be a civil war.
Do you think that's what they?
Civil war.
Do you think what's going to happen? What do you after the end of art? Is there a civil war?
Oh, come on! You think there'll be a civil war in Chelsea?
No. Is that where the end of art is in Chelsea?
End of art is everywhere.
The end of art is everywhere.